It's peace, peace, peace. How y'all doing? Rahul back, brothers.
Roll back. I can't. Let me see. Yeah.
You here, Elder?
You see me?
Well, I hear
You see
you.
me?
I hear you, but I don't see you. I guess you called
I
in
can't.
through your phone, so yeah, it
Yeah,
don't
I
have.
did.
Yeah, it don't have your face, but it actually have it don't have your picture, but we can hear you.
How do I get my face in there?
You got to turn your camera on.
Turn the camera off?
Turn your camera on.
I got it on.
Um,
Can you hear me?
oh yeah, Silos, we hear you. We hear you. Elder Ramesu, as far as I don't know how you came in, Elder. Um, but we hear you loud and clear, but we don't see you.
Okay. Okay.
So if that's okay, if that okay with you, or you want to come out and try to come back in, um, so we can see you, that's up to you.
What do you think?
I think it may be best to try to come out and come back in.
All right. Send me your link. I was using Ned Onstig link.
Okay.
Or would it be difficult?
No. I just pull it up. I just pull it up on my phone real fast, and I'm gonna send it to you right now. That ain't no. I'm gonna send it to you in Messenger. Okay.
Okay, got you.
All right. Hey, look, Grand Rising family, how y'all doing? Listen, everybody in the chat, man, y'all give us like 1 or 2 minutes, and then we're gonna get started. I see we got 42 live viewers right now. Y'all give us.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up the chat.
Y'all give us a. You're not gonna be able to see it, brother. Only way you're gonna be able to see the chat is if you go to Anointed Hands, my Facebook page. You'll better.
Okay.
You have to check it there. But
All right.
let me
Okay. I see. But there's a chat button here, but it's not on there. All right, I got it.
Yeah, so let me try to get the elder in the other way real fast. So y'all bear y'all about to hear a crazy sound. No, it ain't. I'll do it a different way. But family, y'all give us a quick minute. We're gonna get this everything up and running, and then we're gonna send this out. So we're gonna start this conversation, family.
Yeah, now that SaNeter, I sent them a message letting him know that I was really disappointed at him because I had a little dealings with him, very cordial dealings with him. So I sent him there. Now he's doing an interview with the brother Pharaoh. And they starting at 7. I'm like, hey, that's something. This guy's like an opportunist, but that's okay. I tell him maybe later on I'll join and call in. Yeah. Maybe on my phone.
That's what SaNeter does, man. So I don't knock him because that's what he do. So
yeah, you can't be mad at the brother.
Yeah, that's what he does, and you know what I'm saying. DMX said,
you just don't know.
DMX said a while ago. He said, you expect a person to be who they are. You know what I'm saying? You expect a dog to be a dog. You expect a cat to be a cat. You expect a lion to be a lion. Right? It's okay to know who they are and keep them around you, but at the same time, you just need to understand that this is what that person, this is what a dog is, this is what a cat is, this is what a lion is. You know what I'm saying? So, I ain't got no. I actually love his platform, to be honest, because before SaNeter, he helped me get into consciousness. So yeah. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, throughout his platform, this is how I was able to actually get into consciousness is through his platform. So
wow.
Yeah, I revere his platform, but
right.
My thing is I'm always been the type that I eat the meat and spit out the bones. So it don't matter who is the individual. I take the information, whatever I can take out of it, and I use that. And sometimes we gotta separate men and humans from information. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Oh, you back in, Elder Ramesu?
Yeah, but I still can't get my working to get my photo in there.
Yeah, I actually don't know. Let me see.
I think you have to do that in your profile.
Yeah.
somewhere in your profile
Hold on, let
should
me
be
see.
that you could upload a picture.
Let me hit merge. No, yeah. But no, usually, we
used to
see
come in
him.
here.
Yeah, usually we would see you, Elder. I don't know. I
But
don't
he's
know.
coming in through a telephone line right now.
That's
Did he
why
press-
you calling
Yeah, you gotta
in.
come into the Zoom,
Yeah,
not the
you got to
telephone.
come in through Zoom, Elder. You coming in
Zoom.
through the phone.
Right.
I got to come soon.
Yeah, so like the
Yes.
link I sent you, don't hit the call in button. You hitting the call in. You got to hit that Zoom button
Right.
to come in through the Zoom
Right.
app. So the Zoom app should pull up, and you'll come in through Zoom.
Right.
Let me see if I can try it again.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
So that's interesting. Yeah, yeah. You know,
but it's all
it's important
good.
that we address these issues because, like I said, I'm not mad at the brother at all. But I feel that if you're going to put it out there that you are a journalist for the black community, right? You want to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? The street journalist, you still have to check your sources. You got to check you got to have somebody else to check this brother Mark's sources. And then you have to learn how to distinguish what is between something that is a suspicion or something that he actually saw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just don't do journalism like that. So that's my gripe with SaNeter, is I'm trying to, get him to realize, you really got to step it up a notch, bro. This thing about it's all over the place. It's crazy.
Hey, somebody said you echoing, brother. In the comment, they saying that you
That I'm
echo.
what?
You was echoing. It's echoing. You echoing. They hear an echo.
Oh, okay. Let me bring this echo.
Yeah.
Okay, how's that?
Yeah, that's a whole lot better. That's a whole lot better.
Oh, yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
I have my echo on there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you're a whole lot
I
better
got my
right now.
mixer.
Hey,
Yeah.
Grand Rising, Manfor Bay, Faith Black, Yasmin. Appreciate y'all for being in the chat, family. Y'all give us a couple more minutes. So we got somebody from Sydney, Australia in here. Y'all give us a couple more minutes, not too much longer. We're gonna get started. What I wanted to do is I was gonna play part of Lamont Hill dialogue with SaNeter and the other brother. I can't think of his name right now. I'm gonna play their dialogue for a little bit, and then I'm gonna give y'all the opportunity to respond to it and actually come out with some questions or answers. So in the chat, if y'all have any questions, remember this is regarding Dr. Yard and the comments made by Marc Lamont Hill on SaNeter TV. If y'all are unfamiliar with it, I'm gonna play some of it. Y'all can see it, and then what we wanted was some of Dr. York students to actually, I don't want to call them followers, I'm gonna say students, to come out and actually address some of the stuff that Lamont Hill stated, right? So this has been going back and forth for a while, so I just want to be balanced with it. I think I see iPhone. I think we might be a little bit different this time.
Yeah, ramen soup.
Yeah, it's a little bit
I do
different.
Aziz, yeah. That's one of my mentors right there.
Yeah, that's my elder.
Got it?
Yeah, so now you just got to turn your camera on now.
Okay. Now let me see how I can do that.
At the bottom, it should be something, it said like mute, and then right beside it say start video. You muted yourself, you got to unmute yourself. All right, there we go.
There you go. Hey, what's up? Oh, what's up?
Yeah, we see you, Elder.
You in here, brother? Look at you. I've been seeing you in a minute, brother. I can tell you stories about this brother, man. Oh, how beautiful you look, man.
Oh,
I
that's-
know this shit. You wearing it very well.
So do you. So do you,
Yeah,
brother.
let me see if you remember me from back in the day. That's me.
I remember.
That brother footstep. Bro, you like my mentor, man. I used to look up to you like, yo, man, I want to be just like him.
Now, you used to roll with Abdul Fattah.
Yeah, playing golf.
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
Abdul Latif was the one that brought me in also.
That was my partner for a minute. After the team.
I think it was
We
both of
used
you.
to pedal. We used to pedal down in Wall Street area.
That's why I met y'all at Wall Street. At Wall Street, I was working with the Census Department. I was going to NYU, walking the Census Department, and then your guys said, "Come over here." Called me over, started blah blah blah. I was like, shook my whole world. Like, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Then I went to class, and it was a whole different experience, man.
I'm telling you, brother.
Remember when you went out there roller skating and put you on the TV? And so was like, put him out.
He was trying to get me to leave. You know, the brothers in the debate and 33 Lord, they was like, yo, Aziz, you need to leave. Man, I ain't going nowhere.
Hey, man, the math teacher said, ain't going nowhere. No.
That's right.
Having fun. That's when we started roller skating. Because of that,
No doubt.
we started roller skating and playing hockey. And the old man used to call me, come with me. We used to grab the hockey sticks and the skates and go out there. We had a great time, bro. Anyway, we'll build on a lot of that stuff, man.
Hey, it's good to see y'all brothers, man, sit here and talk about the old time, man. I'm glad I'm actually a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Just to look at y'all and look at y'all faces, it just brings smiles to my face, man, to see. Right. So, with that being said, family, I want to welcome y'all to another episode of NCRBGZ Production, man. Where we're gonna talk about a hot subject. Basically, I'm gonna hand it over to y'all. What I want to do though before is I want to play some of Marc Lamont Hill conversation, but first I want y'all to introduce yourselves to the people, introduce yourselves to the audience. I have a nice audience. Let them know who you are, let them know what you represent, and talk a little bit about y'all experience with Dr. York, or however y'all call him, or the community. Ansar Allah community. Just talk about y'all experience a little bit, and then we'll jump into this whole conversation.
Well, definitely let the elder go first.
Okay. Well, with me, I've been a part of the Ansar community. I started reading the pamphlets back like in 72, 73. I was reading the pamphlets, and I was going to the question and answer class, and participating in that like around 74, 75. And I eventually moved in like 76, 77, somewhere in there. I moved in the community. And I moved, short story, I moved in after I ran into Passion at a club called the Club Lamont in Manhattan, and not ever knowing that there was a group called Passion. And during that time that I was coming to the mosque, I didn't move in early on. I was just reading the pamphlets. But what had happened was I was good at doing the Latin hustle. And I was going all clubs. You know what I'm saying? The Eponema, the Fresh, all those clubs I was going. And so I could Latin hustle real good. So when and I used to work at the Club de Martinique. So long story short, me and my partner, we went down, and she eventually moved in the community too. Her name was Zubaida. She just transitioned like 2 years ago. But we went down, and we didn't know that they were performing that night. But before the show came on, we were dancing, we was hustling, we was turning it out. And the next day was Juma, and so Wally, the chauffeur, comes up to me and he says, listen, the old man want to see you at the studio. I said, studio? They got studio? You know what I mean? So he gave me the card. I go up there, and and the old man asked me, to if I wanted to choreograph for the group. This is when Wendell Sawyer was a part of the group. Wendell Sawyer was a member of the Blue Magic.
Blue Magic.
He went back to Blue Magic because he's with them on the Old Timers tour right now. But I did the choreography, and I did the special effect lighting. There's a brother named Isaac. He was like 6'8", big Isaac, right? So yeah, me and him, we did the special effect lighting. So we spent a lot of time at the old man's house, rehearsals. If I could tell you about those, no, Fata has since transition. But we spent a lot of time at the old man's house. So there was a lot of things that I got an opportunity to see and hear, being with him, being there. So I don't want to go into a long triad, but basically, I was part of the passing crew. That's what they call us. We were part of the passing crew, and because of that, we used to have dinner at his house a lot of nights. And we had table talk conversations, and a lot of those table talk conversations, we would have, a new book would come out 2-3 weeks down the road. And we would say, yo, he just talked about that the other night. We were privy to some of the things before they came out in the book. Yeah. So behind that, you had a lot of brothers that, that respected that, but then you had brothers that didn't respect that because they were player haters and they left. A lot of them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I can tell you, the old man is who he is.
That's what you call him, the old man.
I called him back then.
That's what we called him.
Yeah, later on, he became Pops and, and whatever. But we called him the old man, and the reason why we called him the old man, he had 76 trillion years worth of information.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, he had a lot of information that he gave up. So and with that, that's the title, the old man. Yeah. So,
well,
yeah, brother, yeah.
No, I just wanted to ask your permission because you're my elder, that if it's okay for me to speak because you're my elder, and there's always a custom that we should ask our elders, hey, do I have the permission to speak?
No doubt. You have permission, my brother. Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. Well, my story, I'm from the Bronx, New York, from the, the whole traditional Puerto Rican family thing, you know what I'm saying? And like we said earlier, I won a scholarship to go to New York University because I was a musician. I recorded one of the first hip-hop records in history, which a lot of brothers didn't know. But I was kind of like Cognito, and that was with the Funky 4+1 More. So as I'm going to work, I was working with the Census Department. I see two brothers dressed in white, Emma, and I believe it, Abdul Aziz and Abdul Latif. So I'm smelling this incense, and there's a table laid out. So I'm just minding my business, walking, and brother called me over. Yo, come here. Very, very like demanding. Like, yo, you better come over here. I want to talk to you. So started showing me some books. Started speaking about some doctrine about the angel of bliss, or speaking doctrine. And I seen this book, and one of the first book I picked up was Revelation, the Black Book, Revelation. I went home and started reading that. Now I used to go back to Walls, hoping that I see these brothers again and ask them some questions. And that's when Abdul Latif and also his brother Abdul Aziz here, Remusus, told me to come down to newcomers class. And so I made it down there. They were shocked. I mean, Abdul Latif was shocked that I actually came to class. He was like, you're here? Oh my. I walked in this class. It was a tent. At that time, it was a dirt floor, and it was just a tent. The fruit stand wasn't built or nothing. It was just a tent. So I went under that class, and there was a bigger brother giving the conducting the class. The light-skinned big brother, I forgot his name.
Abdul Ali.
Abdul Ali, yeah.
Abdul Ali.
Big brother. So he's giving the class, and fine, I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, from the side of my eye, I see this man walking. But he's looking at me smiling, like he's smiling at me, like, who's, and I'm smiling at him like, who's this guy? I know him from somewhere. I might have saw him in the back of the books or something, but something told me, I know this man. I know this guy. So he started speaking about UFOs and extraterrestrials and started going in that tangent. And I was up there saying, yo, that's right. That makes sense. The amount of reasoning, because like I said, I was a student at NYU. And at NYU, you got to take communications, linguistics, and certain courses would teach you about reasoning, deductive reasoning, inductive. And I see that this man had it, something that you couldn't even learn at NYU and any college. So he had something. I was like, wow. So he leaves. So I'm about to leave, right? I go in the bookstore, get some instance. I'm about to leave. Zemo runs over to me and said, yo, the old man, and I understood that. He said, the old man said for you to come on in. Don't worry about no application, because at that time you had to fill out an application. Mm-hmm. He said, don't worry about no application or nothing. Come on in. Don't let nobody stop you from coming on here. He wants you in here. I was like, what the hell's going on? So I say about 4 days later, man, I packed my bags and I was in there. You know what I'm saying? And then from then on, I was working at the fruit stand. I got sick. I became anemic because of change of diet, you know. And he put me at the fruit stand. And there was a brother, Duca Farah and Musa. I don't really remember the two brothers. Old timers. They helped me set up the fruit stand. I was in there with Adu Raouf, light-eyed Adu Raouf, martial artist. I was on that fruit stand with them. And every day, this man would come by and sit down, observe, and start speaking. And then we would have conversation, personal conversation. A lot about women, because I was very innocent. That's one reason why I resonated a lot. I was like, I'm going to be like Abdul Aziz. Because I used to see him on the train, boy. Them women were like, wow, you had it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, man. So he was speaking about, like a big brother would speak to a younger brother about facts of life. You know what I'm saying? That's the conversations I had with him. And then, of course, we had music conversations about the surahs, because he used to teach the sisters when everybody was out propagating and I was at the fruit stand. He used to teach the sisters underneath the tent and give them classes while the brothers were out, and he was there giving the sisters classes. Some great information. And I even asked him, "Is it okay if I listen in?" He says, "Oh yeah, listen." Then he started teaching me Quran. You know, I said Suratul Ma'un, I think was one of the first surahs he taught me. He taught me Suratul Ikhlas. He started teaching me right there. And when I got something wrong, he would take out a ruler, bang, like a teacher. You got it wrong. Learn it again. And so that's my experience with the man, you know, personally. You know, I started making him his lemon juice, because when they built after the tent, they tore down the tent, they built the walls, and they built the stage, a DJ booth, the stage. That's when we started roller skating there. And he started singing again. I don't think there was a third, or just him and myself, and Zemo was back there singing. So I would make him his lemon juice. He taught me how to make this lemon juice, and I would make it for him every time because it softened his voice. And so, you know, I was honored in a way, saying like, wow, you trust me, and, you know, I trust you, boom, and I made his lemon juice. And great experience I had with the man, you know. But anyway, that's how I got into the Ansar Allah. And that was in, I came in 1979.
Okay.
1979.
That's great. We have somebody else up here. I don't know if you want to unmute your mic and say anything, or you just want to chill. Family, I apologize. Y'all can't see my face. Y'all only see my avatar. Because I'm live on Facebook and on Zoom, and I can't use but one camera. But brother, do you want to say anything? I don't know. Okay, I guess not. They may just want to chill. Okay, so we're gonna get to the topic at hand. You know, Brother Lamont Hill went on SaNeter TV. So and he went up there, and they asked him some questions as far as his how I say, I guess his time when he was with Dr. York and them in Atlanta, and he said some things. So I'm gonna try to play it. Y'all bear with me, because it may not work. So y'all, if y'all listen, everybody in the chat, if you can't hear what I'm playing, let me know if you can't hear the sound. But I'm gonna try to play it anyway and see if it's gonna work or not. So let's see. I don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna find out right now. All right, so here it is right here. Let me blow this up, and I'm gonna play some of it, and then I'm gonna give y'all the opportunity to respond to it. All right, so let me see.
Left Atlanta. I helped run. I helped run one of the stores. So
now, can y'all hear that? Elder Ramesu, can y'all hear it? Y'all
Yes,
can
I
hear
hear
it?
it.
Okay. Hey, everybody in the chat, can y'all hear that? Y'all give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if y'all cannot hear what Lamont. You know what? Let me turn my phone up. I know.
now can y'all hear that?
Oh, they can hear it. Oh, we good. Let's go.
Again, like I wasn't a casual. This is a Holy Tabernacle tattoo. Now I never heard 25 years old. Right. So just for people that say like you know, people like to inflate that everybody ain't fit. Nobody was on the corner, right? You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just saying, like, I wasn't a disciple, but I wasn't a casual. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I ran MLK bookstores. There's 2 MLK bookstores. I helped run along with a bunch of folks around MLK bookstore. The one off Ashby, the right across the street from Philly's finest barbershop. Now I ended up helping start another one. I studied at Edgewood, at the store that was on Edgewood Avenue. Before I got there, I was in Philly with Sajad and then at 52nd and Townsend Street. I used to go to the masjid there when Musa was there as the imam. So just the context. I left, I had suspicions. I had seen things with my own eyes. So again, I know the latter day people, I've seen these dudes on the internet, half of them look white to me, but I see these dudes on the internet talking about it's not true, they got proof, they got evidence. You can't prove that something didn't happen to people who were there. I was a teenager. I moved in as a teenager. You know what I mean? I was an older teenager, but I was a teenager. I wasn't like 13, which would have probably put me in harm's way, quite honestly. Actually, let me not say that. Because it seemed to me that he progressed. His pathology progressed over time. Anyway, but I'll say this, to answer your question, SaNeter. When I found out, I wasn't a little bit shocked. I was not a little bit shocked. I remember being on the land that they called, we called it Kadesh. It eventually became called Wahani, and then it became called Tamaray. Yeah. But again, the latter-day Nuwabis don't even know we called it. When it started, it was called Kadesh. In fact, I was the driver I was Dr. York's, I was the chauffeur, not of Dr. York, but of all the people going from Atlanta to the land. So I would drive back from Atlanta, from West End to Eatonton, sometimes 3-4 times a day. Anybody know that's like driving from Philly to New York 3 times a day. Wow. Right. Not quite that long, but the same mileage. Anyway, and I remember the last time I was on the land, I had stayed up there for a few days. I was staying up there in one of the trailers. One of the rappers from the Grave Diggers was there. He died. He eventually died. And I remember walking into Club Ramesses, which is the club he had built up there. And I remember walking in, and I wasn't supposed to walk in, apparently. But they told me I was going for a walk. But I walked in, and there were kids there. Some had skates on, because they were kind of skating around Ramesses. The kids were like, two were like sitting on his lap. I'll say this. As soon as I opened the door, somebody said, "You can't be in here." And I turned around and left. It was one of them don't be in here, like, on some, like, I knew at that time. It felt really uncomfortable is what you're saying. It was an energy thing, too. Right. I had already heard things and seen things. But my understanding at that moment was that it was with other people's wives, other people's maybe young teenage girls. I knew that for fact.
Now, was you in there by yourself, or you was in there with family?
Okay, so I'm gonna stop there because and I'm gonna stop screen sharing because this is something that I saw we got in there bump. Maybe he'll come back in. I want but this is before I want y'all look what he said that it's in my mind is this. He said he knew for a fact about the women and young girls. Can y'all address that? Because he basically saying he know for a fact that it was something going on with women and young girls. And this is before he even go into the boy situation. So I want to give y'all the chance to respond to the allegations, man, and clear the record up on some of this stuff. Neb, do you want to say something to the family since you just came in? And then let the elders handle it, or however.
Ride back, family.
Roll back. Roll back, my brother. Yes.
All right, brothers, Elos.
Great.
Ride back. Y'all handling it. I know y'all handling it. I had like a little emergency going on. My parents. They're doing fine.
Okay.
Everything's great right now. Yeah, I'm tired. I think we all tired. All Sabians, all Nuwabians, we all come together on one thing. And this one thing is the master teacher. It don't make no daggone sense how they keep dogging this man's name for clout. I'm here. I'm in here. Y'all go ahead.
Great, brother. First, let me just say this. I'm from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? If you know you from New York and you on the block, there's always that brother, the alpha male brother, that's got all the women flocks to. Oh, let's keep it real. It's just like that. You got this elder right here. He could tell you other women that flock to him. Come on, are you kidding me?
That's right.
And then you're dealing with the master teacher with the knowledge that he knows and his charisma. You know, the women and even young girls wanted to get with this man, okay? That's keeping it real, okay? I was trying to get a piece of that when I was in there, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real. That's our brother. That's, you know, look at our neighborhoods. It's always, we must have had that one brother. I knew this one brother where I live, and they was mortal up in the Bronx. Man, every woman that came through that neighborhood, man, you better look out, because this brother was strong, and he was going to hit it. Okay? So I'm not saying that the master teacher's built like that, but what I'm saying when the brother says, for a fact I know about the women, and young girls, I don't know. I mean, what's young, and then you're dealing with a different culture? You know what I'm saying? So there's a fine line. I mean, this day and time, I wouldn't advise that, but there's a fine line when you deal with the hood, when you deal with Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, this type of lifestyle. It's there. Remember, when we knew our master teacher, he wasn't even yet 40 years old. He was 35. Bro, he was in his prime. Are you kidding me? You know how many women he used to pull from 42nd Street and bring them to the jam, and next thing you know, they wouldn't came on. I met them.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We've done that. We all have done that. So this is a man. And at the end of the day, our master teacher's a man. And yes, now, I one thing about what was played, casual. What's a casual member? What the hell is that? Casual member? I don't understand that. I wasn't a casual member. What do you mean? You distinguishing between somebody that just sees him for the first time and resonate with somebody that wants to be following him and wants to be always by his side? Are you serious? Come on, man. You know, right there, the brother right there saying casual. I'm not just a casual. Come on, you came in 1996, 7 or 98. Well, we'll get to that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you want to say something, Elder? I think.
Yeah. You have to be real careful and listen very carefully to what Mark is saying, because see, you know, one of the things he says in that interview, right? He says that he asked the master teacher a question, and that question was you know, he said that he tried to turn it and flip it on him, and he said that the master teacher said, "Well, can't y'all just trust me and just believe me?" Now, anybody that knows the master teacher would know that he would never make a statement like that, because he didn't deal in belief. He dealt in right knowledge. Right knowledge is not based on belief. He taught belief is ignorance. So why would Mark say that? You understand? So when you look at him, you got to understand that one of the things that the old man told us, he said that, you know, because they're gonna bring a lot of stuff towards him to character assassinate him, and the reason why they're gonna character assassinate him is to chase people away from the doctrine. See, the doctrine. See, now you can say anything, because like CeeLo said, he's a man, and you know, women gonna be attracted to him. What Mark said about, you know, the young girls, and he could have read that. He's part of the media. That's what the media was putting out. The media put that out. And Mark was a part of the media. So let's look at Mark for a minute. You know, he's born in 1978. 1978. He said he was a teenager, right, when he came in there. Now, he graduated from high school, right, Carver High School in Philadelphia, right? Then he went on, right? He went on to attend Morehouse College, right? Then he went on to study at Temple University, where he received his undergraduate degree in Spanish and in education. When did he have time to come to the land? And then he talked about he showed this thing with Brother Jarari, and he said that he had a jalabia on. We stopped wearing jalabias in the late 70s, early 80s. He wasn't even born. So how did he put that together? He's putting out misinformation. Now, if you don't know any better, it sounds good. But listen to this. He worked for the media, Fox News, CNN. And then in 2016, there was a photo of him with Farrakhan that resurfaced, right? And he asked the Nation of Islam to remove that photo because it was inconsistent with his values and his professional standards, right? Because he didn't like he said that Farrakhan compared his comparison of Jews with what we call termites, right? But why would he get upset? Why would he get upset? And then he believes Farrakhan is a anti-Semite. Now, if he was in the community, he would have never used that terminology, because when we refer to the Ashkenazians, we know that the true seed of Abraham is the Semites. So he wouldn't say that somebody is anti-Semitic, unless of course you're an Ashkenazi and Jew. He wouldn't use that terminology. So you got to be real careful with what Mark is saying, because one of the things that Cointelpro does, and they do it very, very, very good. They're good at what they do. They surveil, they infiltrate, and they discredit any organization or political organization that they deem to be subversive. And the Ansar Allah community, right, for years, right, was known by the FBI as a subversive group.
I caught a few of them. That's fact.
You understand? So now you got to see what his job is, what his function is, right? Because how do you conveniently sit down and have a conversation? Because he talks about this in the interview. How do you conveniently have a conversation with Khalid Muhammad? With nobody around. He had no bodyguards. He's just sitting there with him. Then all of a sudden he's chummy with Farrakhan. Now all of a sudden he's chummy with the old man. He says he walked into the bedroom, and he didn't name. He said somebody said you can't go in there. Now,
I'm gonna see. Yeah.
Now, if you don't know the old man, then that could be believable. But if you know the old man, he would never ever be in a position where there's no bodyguards. You and everybody would know the bodyguard. Like
the Mujahid.
In the Ansar days, it was Suleiman. Suleiman was the head of the Mujahid. I posted a video today on my webpage, right? And this is when in the early days when the old man was in Kadesh and he was speaking. Now, if you look at the video that I posted today, while he's speaking, you had 4 brothers guarding him. The one on the left was Abdul Noor, and I know Abdul Noor because we stayed together up in the Bay, right? And then it was Abdul Wali, right? He stayed in that same bait with me. Well, Abdul Wali was the chauffeur. Then you had Dawood on the other. So you had all these guards that were around him. So how in the world could Mark say he walked into a room and he saw these 2 boys sitting on his lap? He didn't pass the security. He didn't pass
right
the
outside. Yeah.
Come on. And he's and you can tell that somebody taught him, because I can hear how he uses how he pronounces certain letters in Arabic, where that somebody schooled them. And the FBI, CIA, they're known for recruiting these guys that are real intelligent. Like Mark he earned his PhD later on from the University of Pennsylvania. These are recruiting grounds for the CIA. Yes, and I'm saying what his job is to discredit, and that's what he was doing. Because if he could discredit the old man, then one of the things that he would achieve, or hopefully achieve, is that he would turn people away from the information.
And status. He would achieve status also. Job, opportunity for a job in the media.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And that's what he's doing right now. That's what he's doing.
Another thing, not to cut your wisdom, but another thing, if you do your research on Mark Anthony, what's his name? Lamont Hill or whatever. Yeah. He's behind the whole rumor that's going on the internet. If you don't believe me, check it out. He's behind the whole rumor of Malcolm X being gay.
Facts.
Yeah. I just read that. I
can't trust it. Come on, man.
Yeah.
He's an opportunity.
Yeah. So it looks like his job is to discredit, our icons, our leaders, to make them seem like they're unworthy of us following them, or at least looking into the information that they put out there. You know what I mean? And the old man used to always tell us. He said, man, he said they're gonna come at me. They coming at me. He said, but learn the doctrine. He said, learn the doctrine. So if you learn, you okay? Yeah, the old man he's a human being. He's a man. Okay, let's put him on the side for a minute. Let's look at what he taught. Let's look at the information. Let's look at the information. And that's the thing that they're afraid that people are going to look at. Because that information has woke up people, man, across not only the country, but internationally. Cuba, Trinidad, Tobago, London, you know, the United Kingdom, everywhere, right? And this is what they fear. So they bring, you know, somebody look like me and you in to discredit him. That's what he's doing. And really think about it. He never said how. He said he was a teenager and he was a driver driving people from Atlanta to the land, right? How did he do that when he was going to school getting a PhD? How did he do that when he was going to school getting his undergrad degree? How did he do that? As a teenager. And remember now, he was born in 1978, and we stopped wearing the attire of the jalabia like back in probably 82. He wasn't even, he was 3 or 4 years old. Yeah. How does he show a tape to Jabari that he has a jalabia on, and he calls that he's on the land? Come on, that don't even make sense to somebody who knows.
But now, I want to address the elephant in the room, and that is the platform, like SaNeter and Jabari are bringing this. I personally, but it's again my suspicion that he was paid money in order to do that. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't look like a guy of wealth for some reason. I don't know. I don't see it in him, but a lot of guys could hide it. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, a platform like SaNeter that constantly, you see a lot of these, I don't know, covertly, you see this conversation. They try to bring this up to discredit Dr. York always. You know? And that's, you know, addressing that, and Jabari, for some reason, I don't know, he also claimed, I read and saw pamphlets when I was young, I read it, and this and that. All of a sudden, from reading that, when he had Prince York, Prince York in his interview, and I seen that, they went back and forth, on the table, he had AEO books on the table. Prince York was like, yo, you got those books? But yet here you are, what, who does that? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's, you know.
You have to really pay attention. You have to pay attention because, you know, like, if you notice, right, you know, every organization from the Nation of Islam, well, it started with Marcus Garvey, you know. His all turned against him. We can go down the line with all the civil rights, you know, activists, Martin Luther King included, you know, where they have infiltrated even the Black Panther Party, the new Black Panther Party. They infiltrated everything. How in the world do we forget and go to sleep and think that they didn't touch Dr. York's organization? Come on, they were all in there. We knew when I was in the Ansar community. We knew police was in there. We knew that.
Yeah.
We knew that. They sat amongst us.
It's like they set them in there. Learn what you can about these people, and then when they pulled out, the discretion, you know, discrediting.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all.
They're in there learning what they can learn. And, you know, the old man had flipped a lot of these FBI agents.
Yeah.
He flipped a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? When they got in there and they seen the works, a lot of them got flipped.
Yeah.
So, to be balanced, y'all, I'm going to have to give y'all some pushback, man. Just to be balanced, because I don't want to have an unbiased show. And I try to stay balanced, man. So,
do it.
All right, so, for argument's sake, I have to. So, listen. So, as far as Marc Lamont Hill is concerned, y'all are saying that y'all don't believe that he ever was going back and forth to the land, that it was made up, it's fabricated as far as his interactions with Dr. York and the traveling of taking people from Atlanta to the land. Basically, y'all believe that that's fabricated.
No, I don't. I never said that. What I'm saying What I'm saying is that he's put there as an informant. He's an informer. You know, I believe, and this is just my opinion, I could be wrong, but his actions based on how he's telling the story, a lot of it doesn't make sense. Like I said, he uses the term jelabia. He says he walked in on the old man and two boys were sitting on his lap. That would have never happened. He would have never walked in anywhere without first coming past the mujahid or the sutra, the guard. You understand? And so a lot of things he says doesn't make sense. What I'm saying is that there's a strong possibility that he's with Cointelpro, because there's a lot of people, right, who look like me and you, that they go out and they recruit, because Marc Hill, right, Marc Lamont Hill is a very intelligent brother. He's very intelligent. He has a PhD, very intelligent, well-spoken, articulate. But why does he keep bumping heads with people that have a problem with the government, like Judge Joe Brown? Judge Joe Brown is trying to give him the game, and he's bumping heads with him. Why is he doing this? Why is he bumping heads with the old man who's trying to raise people from the dead, from a dead state to a living perpendicular? Why is he arguing with these people? You understand? And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So he may have had those experiences. He may have had those experiences coming back and forth. He said he was in the mosque on 52nd Street in Philadelphia. Well, yeah, hell, everybody in Philadelphia look like if they ain't a Nuwapian, if they ain't a Sabian, they're Muslim. Everybody down there in Philadelphia, you got a Muslim name. You know?
Beloved, what does driving people from Atlanta to Eaton has to do with his suspicion of Dr. York? It's trying to set credibility. It's like, hey, look at me.
Mm-hmm.
I am special. You know, I've been that close to the man. You're driving people from Atlanta to Eaton. How close you are to the master teacher? Come on now. You try to set credibility there that is not warranted. You don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? Be special. I could tell you, yeah. Oh, I made layman for the master teacher, and I spoke with him every day in the person, the food set. That doesn't make me special. He had other brothers he was speaking at. We all had our connection with him. It doesn't make us special than the other brother. You know what I'm saying? What that has to do with, again, it's setting his credibility, saying like, look at me, I'm not a casual. I'm one of the brothers that were really in tight. But yet, in the same breath, he's saying I couldn't get in. I couldn't stay there in the Ramesses Hall. I was not allowed to go in there where the kids are roller skating. I was not so how special are you really? You know, how casual are you really that you can't even, come on now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
It's
say
conflicting. That's what we're saying. We understand the mindset, what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, we understand that he's trying to say like, look at me, I'm special. I'm not a casual. I'm special. You know, I did this, I did that.
Yeah.
Therefore, what I say about Dr. York, it's the truth.
Yeah.
I didn't even know the man that well, and I was with him every day. I didn't even, come on. Everybody, all of us know you could be around this man every day. Zemo, who I spoke to the other, about 2 weeks ago, told me, I didn't even know this man well. The stuff he used to do, I didn't know him well. And that he was with him every day, even with passion. Didn't even know this man well.
Yeah, Zemo, for those who don't know, Zemo was the brother named Marcelino in the group. He was Marcelino in the group. He played the guitar. He played the guitar until we had another singer come in. You know until we had another guitar player who came in and was able to play the guitar, so it took it out of his hands so he could sing instead of playing the guitar and singing. Yeah. So.
Okay. So Neb, you wanted to say something, brother? I think Neb was gonna show a book.
Yeah, I want to say one thing. I ain't gonna hold the elders up. Anybody interested? Go on Amazon and get this book, Lightning from the East. This book will answer all your questions. I told Stuart to read it earlier. They answer all your questions. I'm telling you. All this stuff you see on the internet about God, the herpes and all this crazy mess. I'm telling you, if you don't know any better, you'll believe it. Don't believe, no. And this book right here, everybody should have it in their library. This book right here. I'm telling you.
Check it out.
And when he was out there, nobody challenged him. Think about it. He still got bad taste in the mouth of that man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then the rest of you put on, man, is child molestation. So if you don't do anything, man, I don't want to do him.
Yeah.
Yo,
It's a serious charge. Yeah.
It's on the two guys.
Yeah.
Two guys that call this man a man, not a God, not Jesus Christ. Now you got some people not fasting to take the man as Jesus. But those guys know that man. And our elder Remember is teaching me. This book, like Prodigy the rapper. Y'all heard of Prodigy from Mobb Deep?
Mobb Deep, hell yeah, Prodigy. Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. He should study the doctrine.
So easy to beat him down when he's locked up and down. It's so easy to beat him down.
Yeah.
You know? That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I gotta say. Y'all doing a great job.
I don't know, brother, the host, if he wanted to mention about the Arabic, which I find.
Well, I do know that in that video he offered $10,000 for anybody who can provide, I guess, a footage or video footage of Dr. York actually having a conversation in Arabic. It's here or there with me.
Well, here, listen to this, Seth Haroon. Listen to this. During that time, when we were in the school of Islam, there were no videotapes. nobody walked around with a cell phone video or a camera to do any of those things. Nobody was around when Saeed Sadiq came into the mosque in Brooklyn and asked the question. This is the Prime Minister of Sudan. I was there. I was in the mosque. How did he get the Prime Minister of Sudan to come in the hood? To Bushwick, to the mosque.
Let's take it back. Remember that day he had the sister work so hard getting us the jalabia with the green outlet and the right. We had to look immaculate. We were like, who's coming into town? It was special.
Yeah.
And
how did he do that? How did he do it? If he wasn't part of the family, how did he do that? You understand? And then, he wasn't around. He wasn't around when they were having conversations in Arabic. Then he says, well, the Wapic is not an ancient language. Let's not get caught there. Let's not get, because that's his opinion. That's his opinion. It's debatable. You understand? But the idea though is that his whole purpose, it appears, to make people look the other way.
Yeah.
To make it seem like
the
man was a fraud. He says who would plead guilty to a crime like he pled guilty to? I'll tell you who. Those who have been tortured. Look at some of the cases with CIA. The CIA tortures these Iraqi or these Palestinians that come into that island. What's that island?
Guantanamo.
Guantanamo.
They keep them there. Yeah, a lot of innocent men are in there.
Yeah, and the techniques that they use to torture people to get answers or to make them say and do what they want them to do.
Well, we already knew they was being tortured because he said it.
He said it.
They took food away from them. They had them sleep in cold floors. I mean, they did a lot.
They did a lot. They did. I mean,
and they told him, if you want these other two sisters to go, you better do what we say. You better plead to this.
No doubt. And no one knows what you would do under those situations where you're being tortured.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, being up for hours. For days, for weeks. You don't know how you're going to respond. So you don't know what was his mental status during the time that he took that plea bargain. You don't know.
I seen that he looked disorientated, and it wouldn't even look like him. He would look like very disorientated.
He did.
What's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Being set up.
So the elephant in the question in the room is, well, if Marc Lamont Hill is Cointelpro, what about SaNeter? and Jabari, because they brought them on the platform and they putting them out into the people. And I think it's supposed to be a debate between Khonshu and Marc Lamont Hill pretty soon.
Yeah, they're trying to set that up.
Yeah, they're trying to set that up. So like, but what does that say about the platform that they own?
What it says is that we have to really become, we have to have a critical, analytical analysis of platforms that arise that talk down on our leaders. We have to be real critical of these platforms. And all I'm saying is that, like if you look at the history of the Black Panther Party, what turned them was that, habits, and during the time of the Black Panther Party in the 60s, the drug of choice were heroin. So now, if you give somebody enough heroin, they'll do what you ask them to do. And what's happening now in this day and time? Everybody's smoking that loud, that weed. So you have people that can be turned with a bunch of money and a platform. Because I mean, come on, man. You throw some money, somebody's way, and they don't really believe or like the old man anyway. They're gonna go for it. And I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just giving you a scenario that could be a possibility.
You on point, because I know for a fact, SaNeter's got awards from YouTube. His thing is to let's get the view, and he gets a paycheck. They give you a paycheck if you get a certain amount of views, and you constantly getting this view. You're gonna get paid, and then you monetize your YouTube channel. He's monetized, and he gets money. Well, in the past, I know he got it. I don't know if he's still continuing on getting it. But at that time, Jabari definitely are kind of Cointelpro, coming out of Cornell University. I mean, I came out of New York University, so I'm not saying that everybody that comes out of university is Cointelpro. I would not say that.
Right.
But just the fact that Jabari, the verbiage that he uses, and the things that he allows to happen, because you in a university, you have to, as a requirement, you have to take a communication course. You have to take English and communication course. It's a requirement. And then in that course, you got journalism, we got writing and journalism. And journalists, if you study on journalists, they have to have credible sources. You have to know how to distinguish between logical fallacies and these false clauses and stuff. You have to distinguish. So how can Jabari, and I know he had to take those courses, how can he come in and bring this to SaNeter without checking these sources the right way and saying, wait a minute, we can't do this, brother Lamont. Why? Because it's not credible. It's not evident. It's not pure facts. You can't come to me with suspicion. You can't come to me painting this picture like you're so close, but you're not. You're not in the organization. So, Jabari, I think I think SaNeter is being manipulated. He's a brother from the street. He's from the streets. On the 25th Street with the bullhorn. He's from the streets, brother. You can even see the way he handles his platform sometimes, the cursing and the rants. You say, this is a street dude. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Look at the old man's tapes. Look at all his lectures. He never used profanity.
No.
You never heard him using the MF and
not even in front of us. I mean, one time he used, but that was because he was mad. But not even in front of us. No, he was not about that.
His verbiage is not like that.
No.
You understand? And mind you, none of these cats could stand in the same room with him and go back and forth.
Maybe that's what they're afraid of.
None of them.
Speaking about that.
And then Mark said that because he has his lectures, in Brooklyn. Well, what about I was with him in Philly. We was all through Center City, Germantown. You understand? And we were performing in different high schools back then.
My beloved.
And when we did that, do you not know we were having
debates.
Not only debates,
discussions,
but answers. Question and answer. We was in Philly like on
my beloved.
With our sister moms.
Do you remember when the old man came to us and told us, because we used to tell him, man, we're getting a lot of like remember on 42nd Street before it turned on Disney, there used to be a lot of strip joints and stuff like that. And remember the Israelite, right? Remember those Israelite brothers that used to be in right there in the heart where they dropped the ball on the other side, right there on 42nd.
Yeah,
and the Israelite brothers used to be yelling and screaming as soon as we passed by, because brothers had tables all over that 42nd.
That's right.
And that was a pit. That was a bottomless pit. That was what is it, strip joints, all over the place. We used to even sneak in there to try to get a peek. I'll be honest with you. But that was the strip joint at that time. And right there, them brothers, the Israelite brothers, the first One West Camp brothers, how they used to yell it, and and then you remember the old man said, oh, a lot of these 5%ers and Israelites are mad at y'all, and you're getting pushback because of what we did when we were younger. We used to go around to their neighborhood and challenge them, their doctrine.
That's right.
Challenge them.
That's right. Yeah.
Have those debates.
We used to go to their parliaments. On the fourth Sunday.
Exactly.
Before it was changed, I think it was I don't know what it's called. I think it might be called Malcolm X Park now, but it was March Park back in the day.
Right, back in the day, right.
And they had the parliaments, on the fourth Sunday. And we used to be there. We challenged. They couldn't touch us.
Yep.
A lot of them were angry and envious because they called us brothers with the white sheets.
Exactly. The Sunnis were mad and about the teachings, and one. I don't know if you remember the story, and I don't know if he was there, that the old man had a white Rolls Royce. And put all the children there, the Lahib, Bakra, the Norm, all them in that white Rolls Royce, and drove to a competition they were having in reciting the Quran.
Yeah.
And they blew the place apart.
Yeah. How about this? And a lot of people don't even know this. But I can tell you this because I lived in 33 Lawton. And at 33 Lawton, on the first floor, you had Abdul Kareem, who became known as Daddy O. You had on my floor, on the third floor, you had MC Delight, who was the Abdul Shaheed, right? And then the old man had a nephew, right? His nephew was Keita Massenberg.
Keita Massenberg, yes.
Keita Massenberg was the president of Motown for some years, and he's the one who discovered Erykah Badu.
Erykah Badu, India.
But how did he get to be a producer? Well, he was the road manager for Stetson Sonic. And Stetson Sonic was a group that came out of the Ansar.
I remember them brothers, yeah. Got his name, Malik, I think it was. Yeah, that one brother.
So now you had a lot of player haters. And even his own son, Yaqub, right, was one of them.
Yeah, and I felt sorry for Yaqub because he was when he was young. All the other Mu'minun, the young ones, used to make fun at him because he always looked like he had a big head. And when he come down to Masjid, you know how kids are. They used to be like, "How you gonna get in through that door to Masjid with the big head that you got?" They used to always. And I used to tell her, I used to tell him, say, "Yo, don't do that. That's not right. Go ahead, go in the Masjid. That's not right. Don't talk to your brother like that." I used to tell y'all the lie like that, and he used to look at me like, well, I like, they making fun of. We just making fun at him, but yeah, he used to be picked on a lot.
So and like I said, we traveled outside of New York, and we would hold these little question and answers. So it's not that he stayed on his particular territory as Mark stated. No, he's absolutely wrong. Yeah, he's absolutely wrong. And like I said, he's absolutely wrong about little things that he said. Now, but like I said, it sounds so innocent and so, it's so subtle that if you didn't know, you wouldn't put it together. Like I said, when he uses the terminology that he says that he had a jalabia on, and he used to teach Nuwapi.
I didn't catch that one. Yeah.
The
jalabia speak Nuwapi.
Yeah, we didn't wear jalabias during that time.
No.
And when we called it Kadesh, he wasn't even, he was probably 3 or 4 years old. How he remember that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That he was right. He was right that it was eventually called, Tamaray.
Wahani, and right from Wahani into Tamaray. Yeah.
But
he's correct on that.
When he said Kadesh, he was too young. He was too young. And he said, "Oh, I'm going back 25 years." But how about we can go back? I can go back close to 50 years.
Yeah, and I'm going back 40 years. Yeah.
You understand? So, he's got his facts, confused. I give him that much credit.
Do you think it's intentionally that he did that intentionally, or let's say that he experienced things at that time, 97, because the old man wasn't even living on the land at that time. He had his own.
No, he wasn't.
Huh?
Yeah,
he wasn't living on the land.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So how close can you be? And could it be that the experience? That's what I feel that's happened to a lot of Nuwaubians, is that they came at a later time. So they never had. That's why I say it's so important to get the master teacher out, the old man, because they didn't have the experience of actually seeing this man up close and personal, shaking his hand or gazing at his eye. They never had that experience like we had.
That's right. That's right.
So all they got is the books. But you know how the books is, because he used to tell us all the time. Books is just to bring you on in, but the real knowledge you're going to receive mouth to ear.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We received a lot of instructions, knowledge that is not in the books.
Mouth to ear.
Not in the books.
Mouth to ear.
From mouth to ear. A lot of stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's different, so could it be that, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Could it be that he experienced something and tried to reach out to Ansar? Like, I had to get on my good brother, Prince York, because you did not live Ansar. You came later on. So you had to go back and try to speak or say or try to act like you come from that time when you don't. Take the experience from the elders. You could sit down with the elders and he could tell you, like Batin, may he rest in peace, one of the nobles, you used to instruct them on that. And you used to tell them, look, this is how, and I even spoke to them, oh, this is how we did things. Brother came to me and said, how you guys used to marry each other, how you used to court and this stuff like that. And I was speaking, well, this is my experience. As an Ansar, we all had different experiences too. There was no one experience. With the master teacher, you could say there was one experience, but still, he reacted differently to brothers. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say that, So I think maybe this brother use that and confuse like SaNeter and Jabbar, something that they're looking for when they weren't there. They were not there. Right now in SaNeter, the brother Pharaoh is on there, and I guess SaNeter is like, I know Pharaoh could hold it on his own. I know Pharaoh really goes on in. But then again, like I'm saying, a lot of these brothers, their intentions are good, but they haven't come from the school like you and me. They don't come. They haven't. They don't. It was a different. And you're talking about a man that wasn't even 40 yet. I was there for his 40th birthday. You know what I'm saying?
He had the wherewithal to know that the only way that we can stay together is to build a community, for everybody. And we was the only ones like you had Herka, you had Damas, Yassine or Herkimer, you had Saz out in Queens, and these brothers would come to the mosque, and then after they do whatever they was doing, they would go home.
Yeah.
Well, our home was the community. We lived 4 behind of each other. Right. No one had that idea then, not even the Nation of Islam. When you come to the Nation of Islam mosque, you visit some of their stores or whatever, you go home.
That was it. You go home. Exactly.
We lived together. We built the community. When we came into Bushwick, right, it was drug-rid. On the next block on Wilson Avenue, it was drug-rid. Man, by the time we set up shop, the drug dealers left.
Pushed them out. They left. Pushed everybody out.
They left.
Yeah.
They seen the energy.
We had a guard in every corner. We had a guard in every corner, man.
Every corner. All the buildings, white and green.
Yep. All the buildings were painted, and you knew. And no drug dealers. Not even dogs allowed who would come through that place.
That's right. And I don't know if you recall this, CEO, but when before they built the Hall of Knowledge on Hart Street, those were brownstones. We had
those brownstones. Oh yeah, I used to work in the crew that we used to dig out the basement.
There you go.
Yeah, we built the Hall of Knowledge.
We built the Hall of Knowledge. We built out. We broke out from like I think it was 6 or 7 brownstones.
Yeah,
and it took us
connect them together. Yeah, we did it. Built that Hall of Knowledge. As a matter of fact, one of my first Arabic classes was the teacher was Salim Sisi from Senegal that wanted to make his way to Canada, and the old man told him, well, teach Arabic to create a school, a class, and we had one of the first classes of Arabic. So that thing about him not speaking Arabic, I had conversations with him, like it was simple conversations, like we all learn. I don't think that, we'd be like, كيف حالك؟ كويس الحمد لله وأنت؟ أنا طيب. We had a little conversation, we learned it, but he was far more advanced.
Yeah. He was able to really break down stuff like stuff that we didn't even think about. Like simple stuff. Like for example, if you read and pick up a Holy Quran today, as soon as you pick it up, the first degree or first surah is going to be Surah Al-Fatiha, right? Well, he told us that wasn't the first degree.
No, it was Ikra.
He explained to us. He said Surah Al-Alaq, the degree of separate with the first, and he explained to us.
Mm-hmm.
He said why did the angel or the prophet use the word Ikra, right? He could have said Takalam, which means to speak. He could have said Qul, which means to orate, right? He could have said any of those things, but he said Ikra, because Ikra means to read something that's already there. Right. You understand? So he was able to break down stuff like that for us, right? I mean, simple stuff. Like, and you go into Surah Al-Baqarah, where it talks about Alif Lam Mim, and he told us that it doesn't mean this. He said Hadihi means this. He said Zalik means that. So he was able to explain the intricate workings of the Holy Quran, which I never heard that from any other Sunni Muslim or any other Muslim during that time. And he was right on point with that. So how's Lamont talking about he didn't understand or speak Arabic? I don't understand.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. It makes sense
to some people that don't know. You know what I mean? Because all he's doing is making an accusation and he's creating doubt.
Oh, so man, Chuck Morris is having a field day with that one.
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese.
He's hurt.
He's hurt. He doesn't have conversation with me because one time he comes to tell me, Saeed Sadiq wasn't the prime minister of Sudan when he came to visit us. I said, let me tell you something. Just like the president, Obama, wherever he goes, he's still gonna be addressed as President Obama. Okay? So it doesn't matter whether he was a prime minister or what, but he's still Prime Minister Sadiq. Saeed Sadiq. Okay? And then you cannot tell me, because I was there personally. I salamed the brother. He held me. I was there personally. I was at the food stand. So you can't tell me that never happened. There's pictures too.
Yeah.
There's photos.
And not only that, right? Just ponder upon this for a moment. Name an Ansar, name a Nuwapian, name a Sabian, right? That had an ability to go on Fox News as a commentator, to go on to CNN as a commentator, because they check their background. They check your background. They don't want no mishaps on there. So why they allow to go on their platforms, to be a contributing, editor or contributing.
Aha moment.
How do they do that? You know what I mean? He is in there, especially for one reason: to disrupt and discredit the old man.
Well, brothers, I think CEO you're on mic mute, but brothers, I appreciate y'all. Coming up here, setting the record straight. I want to say that if anybody know Lamont Hill, and he want to come up here, hey, the channel is open. You can come up here, but you got to come speak to the elders. If you come, you got to come speak to the elders. You can't.
We ain't paying you no money.
Yeah,
We ain't paying you no
you
money
got to
for
come
that.
speak to the elders if you come up here. Speak to somebody who was around Dr. York, not no young people, the elders, right? And you can come up here and have that conversation any day. With that being said, I appreciate y'all. Look, do anybody in the chat have any questions? Do anybody have any questions? We have somebody from Australia, but that's not a question. They made a comment. They say there are many halls of knowledge, as in mosques and community center temples for every other race except for First Nations of Australia. Yeah. But if don't nobody have any questions, family, what I want to do, I want to give y'all brothers the opportunity to close out. Let people know where they can find you. And then if y'all want to come up here once a week and talk on Anointed Hands about whatever, y'all just let me know. Like I tell Elder Ramesu, this is his platform. This is what is my platform. Whenever he want to come up here and talk about whatever he want to talk about, he just let me know, and we'll schedule a day and time, and I open the platform up, man, because this is a people's platform. So
Well, I gotta get going here, but I want to say that thank you very much for hosting this, and I haven't seen my mentor in a long time now. And it's a pleasure to see you, your face. You look radiant, my brother, man. Great. Keep doing what you're doing. And we'll be in contact, man. We'll definitely be in contact, and much shook to all my Sabians and Wapians and all Ansars, We're still Ansars. We're just helpers to Yanun, which just happens to be where we're at right now. You know what I'm saying? We're progressing, we're growing, and that's what it's all about. Okay, peace and blessing. I love you all.
Peace.
Tawaha. I want to thank you for allowing us, Set Heru to use the platform, and I want to thank CeeLo. It's the first time I've seen CeeLo in probably close to 40 years. It's been a long time, and you age gracefully, brother. You have. So, and I want to encourage those people who are really on the fence with this to do your research. Really do your research and ask the appropriate questions, and don't go by what people are saying. Just ask those questions. And hopefully you'll get the right answers. And with that being said, I want to thank everyone for listening, for tuning in, and hopefully we'll be back up here at a later date. Thank you. Rahubat, Wadu.
Thank you for everybody tuned in. I'm Nev Hunt. If you want to check me out, go to Facebook, Higher Science. This is my yacht in the background, Higher Science. I'm dropping that heat for y'all, family. Higher Science on Facebook. The elders definitely broke it down. Answers a lot of questions, a lot of stuff I didn't know about the old man. And like I said, go to Amazon. Lightning from the East. It's a must read. Lightning from the East. Can't nobody refute this. Can't nobody stop this. This is the truth right here, y'all. I'm telling you, I read it. Because I had some doubts myself. And then I read this book right here. It's not all out the ballpark, family. I'm telling you. I enjoyed everything. I thank Seth Rue for putting this out there. Appreciate that, Seth Rue. You had to do it, man. Family, y'all be easy up there. Ride back. What I do?
What I do, family. Hey, thanks, Faith back. Diane James. Y'all be safe, man. What I do, family.
I do.